I'm gonna record for YouTube. Welcome, Rick Wanderers. This is Robert. Long time no see. First video of 2019. Again on my Winter Orb character. Gotten him all the way into the end game and sort of optimized it so that I'm now going to try this guy. I only ever defeated him once, so I don't have the highest hopes. But I'm going to give it my best, and if I succeed, I will say a little bit more about the build.
Exile, do something.
Damage is pretty bad. Mostly because the damage is split up between him and Madness Propagators die kinda quick. Oh shit! That was really bad. I didn't see the degen. Don't combo me. Comboing me is not allowed. Oh, it's again a combo. That is so mean. Let's do some extra deeps here. Ah! I wanted to jump back in. I was counting, and I miscounted. And I jumped out and back in too late. That was very stupid. Very unfortunate. Leech is doing some really good work. I want to pop the thing. Leech. 2, 3, Ah. Okay, this is gonna be rough because he's spawning all these ads. They're gonna just one-shot me once I zone back in. This is bad. It's really hard to see Shaper. Ah! He slowed me and I wanted to flame dash and I couldn't. I clicked the flame dash when Shaper teleported, but I was already slowed. It was bad play. Completely avoidable. Comboing again. This is so mean. The combos are real. How much practice do Methil and Co do? This is just... Or maybe I'm just a super bad player. That might be it as well. Actually, come on, Shaper, die. And now you die as well. Okay, this was very, very ugly. But at least it was on the first try on a character that's not optimized for clear speed. So there's that. And of course, there's no Watcher's Eye. But the thing is, I also don't deserve a Watcher's Eye because I played so bad. Anyway, let me show you in the second part of this video, now that this is done, how this character has changed over the course of this playthrough. I'm actually now level 96. This is by far the highest I've ever gotten. I already was like 40% into level 97, but then I started to do Shaper Guardians, and then I did stupid things and died very often. And as you just now saw, my Uber Elder skills are not that impressive because I have barely any experience with the fight. But it turned out to be a really, really amazing mapping and boss killing character. Yes, I say boss killing because actually it went into a direction where this is possible. I'm still using the same combo, so I'm still utilizing Winter Orb in a 6-link Carcass Jack with lesser multiple projectiles now, which is not even level 20, because if you have greater multiple projectiles, then if you have a tiny boss like Shaper or Uber Elder, not all of them will hit, and most of my damage comes from other sources, so that this is a lot more damage, especially since the less multiplier is smaller. Hypothermia still pretty big staple. Ice Bite also pretty big staple with a chance to freeze, and concentrated effect, of course, the best more multiplier you can get for Winter Orb, and then Cold to Fire in my last link to utilize Herald of Ash a lot better, which actually turns Winter Orb into a skill that deals mostly fire damage, interestingly. And my single target is now 2 Wild skills, so Wild Blade Vortex and Righteous Fire, linked with increased duration, and then Wild Blade Vortex is also linked to Physical to Lightning. This can dish out a lot of damage. This combo alone can kill most Syndicate encounters on its own, while Winter Orb does deal its stuff. Herald of Ice unchanged with Ice Bite, Hypothermia, and Innervate. and then Herald of Ash and Herald of Thunder are just hanging around loosely like this. Then I have Immortal Call cost when damage taken for the defense, Frost Bomb, Bone Chill for more single target, Decoy Totem, Phase Run for mobility and more defense, and then Flame Dash, faster casting Arcane Surge for both mobility and damage. The staple of this build is an Elder Ring, so this one crafted with Warlord's Mark on hit. This basically grants high survivability, multi-modded this one to get a little bit more damage and also cold damage, which then gets increased by the Cold to Fire, and I benefit then also with the fire damage and life and mana. As you can see, the life pool is pretty respectable now, 7.1k, although I only have about 200% increased tree from life from the tree, but because I have so many sources with flat life on my gear, that this makes up for it. So that's the one item that's really expensive that I multi-modded. The other one is a Void Scepter, also multi-modded with cold damage, cast speed, and gain non-chaos damage as extra chaos damage, which synergizes really well with my series Promise because the leech gets a lot stronger. Also for the leech, the amulet has increased damage while leeching. I'm pretty much always leeching because Winter Orb is very mana hungry, so as soon as enemies are affected by Warlord's Mark, if my life is full, I'm still leeching mana, so this is almost always up. Not in hexproof maps, there it doesn't work, so that's a bit of a problem. I try to avoid them. I can run hexproof because this ring has 6% of damage taken gained as mana over 4 seconds when hit, so whenever I get hit, I get mana back, and also plus 15 life gained for each enemy hit by your spells. This is huge, especially with Winter Orb and Herald of Ice hitting so many things at once. This is a lot of, yeah, it's almost like life gain on hit for spells, which is great. So if Leech doesn't work for some reason because its Series Promise is down, enemies are hexproof, I can still get life from that. And the other items are pretty basic. Helm, I did go with a 40% increased damage Winter Orb, which helmet because I couldn't afford the one with the 2 extra stages. Nice thing about this one is that it has Immolate, which only really does a little bit for Blade Vortex. Mostly I went for it because it has the life roll, and it adds physical damage to spells, which is another little tiny thing that helps with the damage. I would have liked it to be fire damage, but beggars can't be choosers. I don't have infinite money, so there's that. The Carcass Jack also, I got very lucky to double corrupt this to get a 6% maximum life. The +2 aura gens is nothing that I am using actively, but at least it didn't go poof. So there's that thing. And as for the flask, ideally one of them would be a Dying Sun, probably the Basalt. I would change this for Dying Sun, and then maybe use Kiara's Determination instead of the Sulfur Flask here to get rid of curses and other bad stuff. Or I get an Anatomical Knowledge corrupted with Corrupting Blood. Stacks cannot be afflicted on you. If I had a Dying Sun, then also using lesser multiple projectiles is even more justified over greater multiple projectiles. But I still have to farm Shaper a bit to get the flask. I just don't want to buy it. This is like one of those characters where I want to do most of this myself, which means actually the only items I traded for is the unlinked Carcass Jack, and I linked it myself and then corrupted it, and the base helmet. So this was a white helmet with 40% increased Winter Orb damage. These were the only 2 items I purchased off of PoE Trade. Everything else is self-found and self-crafted because I'm an idiot masochist. Passive tree, finally, of course, nothing has changed. Elementalist with Mastermind of Discord, which allows us triple Herald and a lot of penetration, and being able to run 3 Heralds and still having mana left, and Herald Effect, very important. Beacon of Ruin, of course, for the Prolif, and the rest of the skill tree very much the same as it was before. So I'm still using spell damage over cast speed, although cast speed is very good for Winter Orb. Spell damage is just raw more damage. Spec'd out of this life node so I can get this jewel socket, which only has cast speed and life on it. The knockback didn't really notice too much, but I currently don't have enough currency to roll a better jewel. But the rest, very generic Winter Orb things. So duration here, life here, life over there, penetration, little bit of flat fire damage to spells over there. Here is the anatomical knowledge, but corrupted with nothing, so I just need to find more and corrupt more, and elemental overload as damage boost as well. And this is pretty much the finished character for me. I think now that I killed Uber Elder, I think the next thing I want to do is I do want to farm Shaper a little bit more to get the Dying Sun, and then my goal is to delve deeper and map more, maybe get all maps completed for the very first time. I never did that, but this build actually was the first that could clear Hall of Grandmasters. So hey, why not continue further? I'm having tons of fun with this build. I just as well like, pop in another map. I don't know why I went all the way out here like this, but whatever. Just gonna dump all of this here very quickly just to open another map to show the build in action. Maybe a palace if we have that. Yes, we do. Wonderful. Just gonna arc that up real quick. This is temporal chains. I don't care. We're just gonna open that and then show you what the build looks like in a map. One thing I really want to use as well is focus, but right now I can't because I don't have any keybinds for it. I could potentially lose the decoy totem and then use focus for something like increased cast speed while you're focused, like 30% attack and cast speed while focused, for example, would go a long way. Or just something like, I don't know, Vaal Pact while focused. And that's what I mean. I mean, Syndicate fights, even in the tier 14 map, with me being temp chained, I don't know why I just walked into one of those, are pretty much a joke. I'm not going to talk to them now, so just that I can finish up the video. But as you can see, nothing really can touch you. Survivability is through the roof. If there's the only thing that can really kill you is an absolute true one-shot, like Syndicate can do, but if you pay attention and stay mobile, that rarely happens. I didn't die once while going from level 95 to 96, and this was always the biggest showstopper for me with previous characters. As soon as they reached 95, I started doing Ripley content, and then just wasn't fun to lose 10% XP. But with this character in maps, it hardly ever happens. So if maybe I feel it, I might just try to go for 200 with this, or at least try see how far I can get. Let's see. Again, thanks very much for watching. I hope to see you in game.